I never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it.
Welcome to my channel. Today, you guys, I'm gonna do just my face makeup. I've done my eyes for today. I'm all dressed. I need to go off. So yeah, you guys, we're all prepared except for the face makeup. And the only reason why I waited on my face makeup is because I have a new palette from Coastal Scents. It's probably not new as far as Coastal Scents having this palette, but it's new to me. I just decided, I was just like surfing the internet, and I thought it's been years since I used Coastal Scents, coastalscents.com products. So I got me this concealer palette, which you can use all over the face as foundation or just as concealer. Now I'm gonna use the palette for concealer. I'm gonna use it for foundation. I'm gonna use it for contouring. So yeah, you guys, so this is gonna be really good. I haven't done a video using a palette like this in a long time, like a complete concealer palette. But we're gonna begin with my retinol instant radiance booster here. I like this for my moisturizer because it has a little retinol in it. It's not nothing too bad, but it does have some retinol in it. And y'all, I'm just gonna have to put some on my face. And it does produce a nice radiance on the skin, and my skin is dry because it's cold out. Y'all, we had a little snow last night. It was so pretty. And of course, when it snows and we're inside with the heat, the skin has a tendency to get dry. So I'm putting a little extra on than I normally would with this product. It only takes a little bit of this retinol vitamin enriched product, which is that gives a radiance to the skin. It's a really good product, you guys. If y'all can find it, this is what it looks like. I absolutely love this product. So this is my moisturizer and my little highlight that I'm putting all over my skin, because when you use concealers and stuff like that as foundation, a lot of times you need good moisture underneath, because a lot of the products that's like concealers, they're a little stiff or it's a little rough to smooth out on the skin. So I highly recommend you use a moisturizer if you like a concealer palette and you use it all over as foundation. So, and even underneath your eyes, if you have dry under eyes, I even recommend that you make sure you moisturize your under eyes, because dry products can bring out your wrinkles, fine lines, etc. We know. So the skin must be moisturized. Alright, so I pretty much have that worked in. And believe it or not, I like my skin just the way it is. But I kind of want to use a little bit of the Milani Prime Shield Face Primer, just because a lot of concealer palettes will or usually do have a tendency of getting oily after a period of time. So it's good to have a mattifying primer to go, like just to add onto a moisturizer, or in my case to add with this retinol instant radiance booster product. So I'm just going to add just a little bit of this, because I find that this is one of the best like mattifying primers in the drugstore right now. I know that this is not new, but it's new to me. So whenever I say something is good, trust me, I haven't used it that long and it's new to me. I may not have bought it when it first came out, but this is fairly new to me, and I really like it. The Milani Prime Shield. I feel like this keeps my foundation on, and it gives me some mattification. It's not going to give me a whole lot, just because I use more of that radiance booster, that retinol retinol radiance booster, but it will give me enough magnification, I guess, that my foundation or this concealer palette won't look so oily after about a couple hours or 3 hours. So yeah, that's the whole purpose of putting this on, is to help out so that my skin do not get as oily as it could get. Because y'all know sometimes you can put concealer products on and it gets very oily, especially if they come in like a, what am I trying to say? Especially if they come in a palette form type of concealer. So yeah, we know all about that right there. So now, this is what the palette looks like. I have sanitized the outside, but this is what the box looks like. It says Coastal Scents Concealed palette, has 10 concealers and 6 correctors. So correctors is to either brighten or color redden or cover redness and all sorts of things. You know, you have the colors right up in here, and I'm about to show you the actual product, but it says blend, conceal, and color correct for a flawless complexion. The conceal palette offers 10 concealer shades formulated for a wide range of skin tones and 6 powerful color correctors to achieve just that. Now I love palettes like this because of the one line I just read to you. I like it all, but there's one line that sticks out the most, is that it has a wide range of colors for all skin tones. That's my experience with palettes like this. That's why I still purchase palettes like this, just because of that main thing. So what I'm going to do is, I have it sanitized, there's some alcohol still on the packaging, but we're going to try to go on with it. But this is what it looks like, you guys. Just says conceal, same thing as the box. If you see that it's wet, it's just where I sanitized the product. And then inside, this is what it looks like. And I have to say, I thought the palette was going to be bigger, but it's not that big. But this is what it looks like. The concealers are all here. You can use all of the face, bronze with. These are the color correctors right there. And I will be using all of them. Not all of the shades, but color correctors and concealers. Now, I always make sure my stuff has not been tampered with. That's priority number 1 for me these days. Pretty sure it is for y'all too. Yeah. And one more thing, I did get a foundation brush. This is the BRC S22. It's a synthetic foundation brush. So I went ahead and got one of those because I do have foundation brushes, but I thought this one was so cheap that I thought, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get it and have a new foundation brush to go with the palette. And this is a synthetic brush. Now I can tell by my face I'm pretty much ready, because I don't want my face to get completely dry. I want to see that retinol product on there so I can easily smooth out the product from the palette. So let's go ahead. Now usually I like to start with my under eyes when it comes down to palettes like this, but I think I'm just going to go on in with the face colors, okay? From what I see, I feel like this shade here will match me perfectly. And if I have to blend and mix, that's the wonderful thing about having a palette like this. You can blend and mix products. So, and then of course I'm going to use these bronzer type shades here to contour or to bronze. So here we go. Let's check it out. Now the product is smooth. Okay, I thought it was going to be hard, but I'll show y'all that this is smooth. And some of y'all might have already tried this product. I have not. So it's not too hard. Sometimes you have to warm up these products. When I say warm it up, a lot of times you have to rub it a few times. And I see with this product, I feel like you have to warm it up a little bit. Some people even use certain little oils, like facial oils, to warm up the product, whatever. I just go through the product a few times to warm it up. But this is what it looks like. Look there, that's perfect. Like, that's perfect match right there. So I'm just gonna add my, I'm gonna add my product onto my face. What I noticed by just putting these little swatches on my face is that the product is very smooth. It's not rough. It's a bit, I think it's gonna be a little oily. But however, I do have the retinol product on, so it could be that's causing it to feel oily like. And that's what I want though. I want it to blend out. I don't want it to be too rough or tough on my skin. So I want it to be able to blend it out effortlessly, okay? And not have a big issue with it. So just putting the product everywhere where I want foundation. So that's exactly what I'm doing. And then I think without blending this, but then again I want to do a thorough like first impression. I was gonna go ahead and go in with the bronzer shade and put it on and everything, but I like to do that with a beauty sponge. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my foundation brush and blend this in. That covered that dark area that I have right there. That covered very good. And to be honest with you, I might have put just a tad bit too much product, because y'all know how I am. I mean, if you don't, then okay, I'm gonna tell you, I'm a type of person that I sometimes put a little too much extra foundation on, just because I do have some areas that needs to be covered, okay? I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I don't have nothing to cover. I do. And so I have a tendency of adding extra product onto my face. And I do it the first time so I don't have to go back and redo it. Then some, but a lot of people recommend that you do it little by little, like add product on a little at a time. But I pretty much know how much it takes that what I like as far as a product on my skin. So yeah, and it blends very easily. And like I said, it could just be the retinol product. I would need to try this on dry skin, like with no primer and all of that, before I can tell you if this product is truly smooth as it is right now. Now when it comes down to the side of my nose, I go ahead and add a little bit more product, because of course that's where my I think you call it broken capillaries or whatever is located. Okay, my nose is red on the side, so I add a little extra product. It's been years, you guys, since I used to palette like this. Like, it's been a long time. So then, of course, I'm just blending it out, you guys. And what I do next is I go back in and color correct. This is just how I color correct with the color correctors that's from this palette, or from any kind of palette or product, is I go ahead and put on the foundation first, and then I add the color corrector on, and then after blending the color corrector on, then I will go back in and add the foundation back on top of the color corrector is what I'm talking about. And I'm trying to blend out the edges around my brows and right here where my eyeshadow is, so it doesn't look like two lines right up in here, okay? So from this point, this is where I like to actually go back in, especially on my forehead area, and add extra product, because up here I have some hyperpigmentation that developed about 2 years ago on my forehead, and I'm just adding more. That's the thing about palettes like this. You have all your shades, and you can just simply just go back and add extra where you need it. I feel like that area was covered really good. I would love to cover where I had my surgery right there. There we go. I see it. Like, it does cover pretty well, you guys. There was another palette like this, but I chose this one because the other one could, I think, I looked back online to see if the other one that they had that's like this was available, but I did not see it. I guess they sold out of it. It's supposed to be like full coverage, like camouflage type of concealer palette. And I was gonna try it out, like mainly for my under eyes or maybe for my face at certain times. But if you notice, as I'm adding more to it, I'm getting more coverage. That's what I see in my mirror as well as in this mirror, okay? And so you can build this up, you guys, to, I feel like, full coverage. Right now it's full coverage, but I do have some, like a pimple there, couple pimples, and I'm gonna try the color correctors to see if I can cover that up and go ahead and start with the under eyes. Now I'm gonna use this other brush outside of the Coastal Scents brush. This is just one of my Flower Beauty brushes, and I'm gonna use the shade Peach and the yellow tone underneath my eyes. And I forget what color you use for spots. I think it's the purple tone. I'm not sure. This is the peach tone. So this is gonna really brighten, as you can tell. It's like two-tone according to my, as you can see, towards my foundation. The other shade that I use is foundation. And this is a color corrector. Actually the peach color. I'll show you. This one here, the peach shade. And then I'm going to use this yellow shade. And then I'm going to use the purple shade to spot conceal. I think that's the one you use. I know green is for redness. I'm not sure, you guys, but then I have just a regular concealer shade there, I think that is. I'm not sure. But however, I have other shades in the palette that I can use. So I have on the peach shade. Now I'm gonna go in with the yellow shade, you guys, and add it on top of the peach shade. And this is just to brighten the under eye and to conceal dark circles, brighten dark circles, and get a bright under eye. So I'm going to drag it down just a little bit, the yellow tone, okay, because I can literally highlight and contour, and I might do that. But first, let's take a look at what this is going to look like, because that's my thing. And I can straighten out my eyeshadow. That's one thing I like about concealer palettes. You can bring out your concealer on out and straighten out your eyeshadow, which everybody probably knows. But I'm just saying, I like that about it. I used to always like that. Like, you just, you know, straighten up the eyeshadow and all. So now I would love to have had a regular beauty blender. I didn't think about it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just another foundation brush here, just my regular foundation brush here. No, that's not going to work. I feel like a regular fluffy brush would be best. Okay, so as I'm looking at everything, I noticed that the color correctors blend out very good into the foundation. I cannot get real close to my under eyes just because I already have like mascara and stuff. But I mean, this blends out really good. It's not like really hard like some of the concealer palettes can be. Like by the time you put the product on, if you don't blend it out real quick, you know it's messed up. It's not like that. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna grab another shade. Like this did highlight, but I have another shade that I'm gonna use to highlight. Actually, one of these foundation shades. I'm gonna use this one shade lighter, and hopefully this is correct shade. I think it is because the other ones are like pink tones. This one is like an olive tone. I may be messing up with this. And I might have to mix it with the next dark shade beside it. Just to blend it evenly. So it doesn't look too different. So I'm using the olive shade light color and also the color next to the foundation shade. And I'll show it to you so you can see it for yourself what shade I'm using. And this is to try to blend everything together with my foundation, but also keep the highlight. And I use this shade here, this one there, with this one. And that's the shade I use as my all over complexion shade. Okay, so now just blend this one in. And it should highlight, but yet not be too highlighted. Because I don't like my under eyes to be too highlighted, because it looks weird to me now. I just like it just enough. Just enough. Alright. So I like that. That blended out very nicely. So now, what I'm going to do, hold on you guys. Oh, it hurts so bad right here. Okay, so now I'm going to take my concealer brush again, and I'm gonna highlight just a little bit, and I think I'm gonna use this shade here, this beige light shade there. I'm gonna use it just to go over some of the areas on my face that I would like to highlight, just like right there on my forehead a little bit. And this is very light, so I might have to go back in with see this shade next to the skin tone shade, just to, I don't want it too light, but I just want just a little bit. Now blend it out. Okay, just like that. Or blend it in, not blend it out, blend it in. Now, taking the bronzer shade, I think I'm going to go in with this first bronzer shade, but I might end up using both of these shades right here. I'm going to go ahead and go into the bronzer shade with my concealer brush. This is a small palette, but I do think that this is a wonderful palette. Like, I see a lot of coverage. I'm really impressed. It's been years. I used to be a real, y'all, honestly, like before I did YouTube, I ordered makeup from Coastal Scents. That was the company that I actually started purchasing like makeup. And then from Coastal Scents, I started doing YouTube about it was a good amount of years. My daughter was like very young. So honestly, Coastal Scents was a brand that I started like practicing with makeup, learning the skills, just doing my thing. And whatever made me happy, I didn't really worry about what anybody else thought about it. It was more about me just practicing with new makeup, and this one happens to be one of the companies that I began like playing with makeup. So I'm not ashamed to have bought this product. I don't hear a lot of people talk about this product anymore. It's really sad, but I do like this company. So now I'm gonna blend out the contour shade. Is this light a bit too much, or should I go like no? I think the light helped out. Okay, until I get done. Gives y'all, yeah, I got a light right there. I gotta get another one on the other side. I'm just blending out the bronzer shade there. Just blending it out. And I'm gonna go back in with the deeper bronze shade just to sculpt out my cheeks a little more. This looks more like my blush because y'all know how I love a bronze blush look. Like that is my jam. I love it. And as you can tell, my skin do look a little like luminous. And once again, I can't say that it's completely like it's this palette. I know that some concealer palettes like this are oily and can get oily throughout the day. But just know that I did put on that retinol. Remember. I did use the retinol product, and that will also supply a lot of moisture onto my skin. So just let you know. I guess I should have done one side without the retinol and the primer, and the other side with it. But it's okay. Now, one thing I'm going to do real quick is to see if I can cover this pimple. I'm going to grab I think it's the purple shade. I'm not sure. Or is it the blue shade? I know the green shade is for redness. I'm going to use the purple shade. I'm not sure if this is the right shade. And I'm going to go right on top of this pimple because I have one right here sticking out. And I'm going to go back over with foundation here in a minute. Now, let's blend out the contour shade on the side of my nose. And it may not be perfect. I go back in with another lighter shade and it will, trust me, it will all come together. Okay, I know that looks a little funny. So this is the point where I go back in with highlighted shade. There we go. Okay, simple as that. I love how like this because if you look at it, it's going like everything is going so fast. And I'm gonna take my finger and just pat that in because if I use the brush, you're not gonna be able to see just that one part that needs to be even with my skin tone. Okay, I'm gonna go into the palette, add the skin tone shade with the brightener in the middle of my nose right here, just so it sort of matches my face makeup and also my just it'll open up that contour side. Okay, let me just add the lines back on, and I'm trying to like blend out the lines on the side here, but I'm going to use a powder here in a minute as well because as you can tell everything is looking a bit oily, and that's okay for me right now because it's cold outside. It's gonna work. So far underneath my eyes, y'all, I do not see any lines like the product getting into my fine lines. That is a wonderful thing with the contour palette because a lot of times all that stuff get in your lines. Y'all know what I'm talking about, because it's really moisturizing. Now I'm going to take this more bolder brown shade right there, and I'm going to use my foundation stick, which or brush that I actually really do love, and I'm going to add that deeper bronze on the back portions of my cheek, because the lighter bronze I'm using more as a blush shade. So just adding that on to the back of the cheeks, give me some definition. Okay, and then I'm going to use just a little bit up here on my forehead, add some more bronze. Y'all, I'm loving this palette. As y'all probably can tell, I love this palette. It's been a long time once again, and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling this company again. It's been a while since I used Coastal Sands products. So now, what I gotta do now is basically go ahead and sculpt underneath my cheek too with the deeper bronze. This is my favorite bronze shade, honestly. The other one is more natural. That's why I say I consider it as a blush shade rather than a contour shade. But on natural days it'd be perfect. But this one right here is amazing. I'm sorry, y'all. My sinuses is all just like crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and blend in all of the bronze on my back portion of my cheeks and around my forehead. Just blend it, and I probably have to mix a little bit more of my foundation. Look how easy it blends into the skin. Like, I love that. Yeah, I love that. So I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. I feel like I don't do that, but I used to. But I'm gonna bring it down a little bit so I don't have to take any of that off. Like, that looks so good. Now I'm blending the bronze on the back portions of my cheeks, and also trying to get right there around my eyes, so it doesn't look like right there around my eyes like we have these light circles. So I'm adding the bronze like right here in this area. There we go. Alright, so that is looking really good. Now the next thing I'm going to do, like I told y'all, I'm going to go back in with my proper color shade. First I'm going to go ahead and contour, like highlight my, like right underneath the hollow of my cheeks here. I'm going to use this shade again, this beige shade, with a little bit of this lighter shade, which is this one here. I'm going to mix the two. And we're gonna just kind of sculpt the cheeks just a little bit. I'm not really into this no more. I don't really do this often, but it can, like, then I'm gonna use a little bit of my foundation color. It does make a difference, like if you really want to sculpt and just, you know, have that real sculpted line or whatever, it's cute. However, I don't do this anymore as often as I used to, just being completely honest. But for today, we're using this contour palette. A lot of people do use this palette for that reason. And so, I don't so I'm going to grab some more of the skin tone shade that matches my skin tone, dab it on, so it still matches everything else that's going on my skin. I don't want that to stick out too light. I want it to match. Then right here on this purple part, or the purple where I put the color corrector, I add my I'm gonna use my concealer brush, and I'm just gonna add the foundation on that pimple. And maybe that covers. It really didn't cover much because you gotta think it's a huge bump. But it did cover the redness. I say it covered a little bit, like you see it there. So you don't see a lot of redness, and that's a good thing. Or hyperpigmentation, because you know with pimples that happens. Okay. Just making sure that it's even on both sides. Alright, this is looking good. So I'm gonna grab my foundation. I'm gonna use the same foundation color, and I'm gonna go right here on the side of my nose just to straighten out the contour lines. Blend it a little bit so it's not so harsh. And once again, you guys, this is, I think the product really is moisturizing. I'm just saying. But I love it. Okay, so now it's basically time for me to either set it with the setting powder and kind of mattify everything and add a little bronzer just to intensify. You could leave it like this. If you're super dry, this will be absolutely wonderful, you guys. I really do think that this is a great product if you're really, really dry. But like, you guys, almost forgot this, but if you're like somewhat like oily, you're gonna want to set this. Okay, for me, I could leave it alone and be fine. It just wouldn't bother me much at all. But I will like to set my under eyes because I do feel like this could possibly crease. Right now, like, look underneath my eyes. Like, it's not creasing much at all. Like, I was thinking you will see like little ziggly lines or whatever, zigzag lines from it getting into my fine lines. But y'all, look at my under eyes, like, look really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and set it a little bit, and then I'll go from there as far as other parts of my face. I'm gonna use the Physicians Formula Super BB, what is it? All-in-one Beauty Balm powder, okay? I'm gonna use this. The other little things just has not been working for my under eyes. I noticed it just looks really bad, especially when I go outside. It's like, yeah, the powder is obvious. Either my powder is too yellow, or it's just, you know, it's just too thick. I'm trying to find my under eye setting brush. Okay, here it is. I used the ELF sculpting brush, which I could have used to sculpt out my cheeks, but I like to use this underneath the eyes. Grab a little bit of this powder. This is in the shade light to medium. And I like to grab just a little powder like this onto the brush. And I like this brush because it actually, look at that, that looks so good. I will use powder. I feel like the powder is just like really sticking out. The product, like, that just works so well underneath the eyes. Like, look at this, y'all, like right here. Boom, you're done. Like, it's a contour stick. It's by ELF, or a contour brush, but it's perfect for setting like your under eyes. Like, it works so good right where you want to set your concealer. So easy. And I like to come close to my nose. That's another thing why I like this brush, is that I can come as close to my nose without the contouring. And then a lot of times I can come down and then this far down with powder nowadays. And sometimes I'll do like my upper lip or even my chin. But I know I'm going to set everything with my regular setting powder. So this is wonderful for underneath the eyes. I feel like it doesn't cause a lot of creasing. So yeah, this is not a new product, but it's new to me. So the next thing is just setting everything, and then I'm gonna go in with the bronzer. So we're basically done with the conceal palette. I'm just setting everything. So I'm gonna use the Makeup Revolution powder, luxury powder here in Banana. This does match. I'm gonna take some of this Makeup Revolution luxury powder and put a little bit underneath my hands here, because it does match my skin very well. Use a powder brush just to set everything in place, because it is a bit oily. So, but I don't mind it right now this time of the year. I'm just hoping that this doesn't cause it to cake up, because sometimes with those palettes you put powder on and everything seems to start sticking to stuff, from my experience of doing this. And I noticed just a little bit, this powder is starting to stick to my skin, because everything else, you gotta think, everything is sort of wet-like. It's moisturizing. So you're adding powder on top of moisture. And sometimes that works perfectly, depending, some products work good that way. And then some products do not. So it just depends on the product, and also the products used to conceal your entire face. And so far I can say it does not look bad. I'm just going to use the rest of the powder instead of adding more powder. I think that's enough. I don't want to overdo it. And so that worked out okay, but I had to use very minimum amount of this powder. Okay, so now we're down to the bronzer. I will use the powder bronzer just to go over. I really don't have to, because this does look really nice just as is with a little powder. But I'm just going to add just a little bit of bronzer. This is the Love Betsy by Betsy Johnson highlighting palette. This is actually a wonderful natural bronzer, so I think this will work really good. So let me grab my brush, and where is it at? Okay, here it is. And I'm just gonna add just a little bit of this bronzer, just like I'm gonna dab it on rather than just go in and just like really swirl it on. Just gonna like dab it on so I don't mess up. Dab it, and this is a stipple brush by Revlon. It's one of the best for light. If you're a little heavy with bronzer, this is a good one to get. Or a blush, but sometimes I can get really crazy with blush, even though I like blush, but sometimes I just do too much. And this brush, it just gives just enough that you need. Okay, so I'm going to grab this brush as well and add just a little bronzer on the side of my nose. Add it on the contour areas just a little bit. There we go. Trying not to mess up anything. I think that's okay. I think that's good. Okay, so now the next thing is just highlighting. I have like 3 highlighting palettes. Oh no, this is so pretty. I have 3 highlighting I guess palettes or products. I have the Physicians Formula powder palette, Mineral Glow Pearls, and Light Bronze Pearl. I do like to use this. And also I have the Just Glow Rose Gold highlighter. This one is by Hard Candy. You can pick a color out of here. You don't have to scroll through it. Like a lot of times I just use this color, the pink color. I use whatever shade I want. And then of course out of this Love Betsy palette, highlighting palette, I do like this yellow highlighting shade. And listen, with highlighters you can like mix and blend. That's totally up to you. What you like to do and how you like your makeup. For me, I like to blend sometimes different highlighters. just because I love highlighters that much. So I'm gonna grab a little bit of this pink and a little bit of this peach, or pink and this yellow shade right here. I'm gonna grab a little bit of that right there, and then I'm gonna grab this yellow highlighter right here, okay? And then I'm gonna grab the Physicians Formula highlighter right here in the bronze pearl and add a little bit of that. And now I'm gonna go like right here on top of my cheeks. Now you may not see much because this is like the yellow shades that I use more, like the yellow gold shades, and it's gonna look more natural. So I really wanted it to be that way because I don't want it to look too intense and I don't want it to look too bold. So therefore I am adding just what I want to look a little natural, because I feel like my look is not really too bold at all. But everybody's opinion is completely different. Like, you go by what you like and you do what you want to do. But for today, I just want a light, like bronzy, not really bronzy, but a light coverage of highlighter. I don't want it intense. I don't want it too bold. I want it just the way I like it. Now, one thing that I do notice is that I do feel like I need to add a little bit more bronzer on my cheeks. But then again, I feel like, no, Sheila. But a lot of times when we go back in, we end up putting way too much. And then we're just like, why did I do that? Now, one thing I would love to do, and I'm about to do it right now, and that is to add a little highlight underneath my brow bone. And I'm just going to grab one of my brushes over here, and I just call this my brow highlighter brush. And I'm going to grab the yellow tones from this Hard Candy palette here. Okay, just add some of it. And then I'm going to add some of this one from the Love Betsy highlighting palette. Dab that, and just a little bit of the Physicians Formula Bronze Gold. And I'm going to highlight my brow bone right here. I did not use a matte tone. I haven't used anything up here on my brow bone. I think that will match the highlighters that I have overall, all over my face, just overall, okay? I think that will look nice. See there that you have that little glow. It sort of match everything. Don't sort of match, it matches everything. And that way your brow bone will match your highlight. And I feel like this side is more intense, and that's the way it is just because I dip back into everything. So I'm going to dip back into everything else to get it even on both sides. So there we go. So y'all can see like that, how I say that. So now I feel like I have like this beautiful, healthy, like nice contour. I don't want to say contour, but it is sort of contour. My cheeks is contour. I kind of feel like it's naturally contoured. Like, I don't feel like it's like that bold contour look. And I like the fact that my skin looks dewy. And it doesn't look too matte. It's just like the perfect like highlight and perfect amount of foundation, okay? So yeah, so that is that, you guys. And my lipstick, now I do have lipstick on, if some of you noticed. I did mention that at the beginning, but I will have to slide over here, grab my lipstick again, what I use as my lipstick, and y'all, I will set my face and this look will be complete. So let me grab my lip combo, which is right here. I did find another gloss, you guys, by Hard Candy. It's the Glosstopia Ultimate Lip Shine, and this one is in the shade Sprinkles on Top. I thought I had all of them, but y'all, this is so pretty, and you're gonna see why. But I'm gonna use this product with the Ruby Kisses Ultra Easy Lip Liner, and what I do is I just basically line my lips with the liner, and then I go back over with the gloss on top. And this is the way that you can, want to overline, you can. That's up to you. But I just like to put it on and kind of line or overline a little bit, but not too much. And I just go ahead and fill in my lips. Okay, so my lips is going to get matte-like, as you can probably tell. And I'm taking some of that gloss off because I'm retouching my lips, and that's fine. And so now what I'm gonna do is go in with the gloss and add this gloss right on top. But I will also just go ahead and check my line, make sure that where I've lined my lips is perfectly, like really pretty, and just the way I want it. Because once I put on the gloss, it can get a bit messy, and I don't want it to be as messy, okay? I don't want it to look messy, because once I get done, I'm done. Like, are y'all like that? Like, especially if you take your time doing your makeup, like when you get to the point where you're like done, you want to be done with this. Okay, so I'm adding the sprinkle on top. It's like a glitter tone gloss, as you can tell. So this one has glitter in it, and I don't mind it because actually it just produces a really wonderful shine. So I'm just gonna add this on top and have this beautiful shine on my lips that, I mean, come on, it's just kissable lips, okay? Yeah, this, when I put it on last night, I was like, this is such beautiful, like, wannabe kissable lips. It's like, kiss me, okay? Cause the sparkles just kind of shine. It's so pretty. But I do like to top my lip liners with the Glosstopia lip shines, just because I like that, okay? So I do put a good bit on, so when I move or when I talk, my lips are really glossy and noticeable, and my nose is running, you guys. Like, hold on for a second. Okay, let me wipe my hands, and I just did. And I don't have a cold, but however, I don't know, maybe does, I don't know. But anyways, you guys, this is the Hard Candy Glosstopia Ultimate Lip Shine. This does have hyaluronic acid. This one is called Sprinkles on Top, okay, which is very pretty. And then I have the Ruby Kisses Ultra Easy Lip Liner that I use first, and then apply the lip shine, as y'all saw. And so y'all, this is basically the look. I do not want blush. I actually like my cheeks looking bronzy. And sometimes when I want my blush to look a little bit more intense, I just go back in with the bronzer that I use to get that bronzy look. I think I used this one here. Yes, I did. And I'm just going to grab a little bit more of that bronze, even though I have the highlighter. And I'm going to intensify the bronzy look just a little bit on my cheeks, because I like my cheekbones, okay? And blush really do stick out my cheekbones. So you go back in, even after putting on powder. A lot of times when you put on powder, you go back in with a bronzer, cream bronzer. To me, the bronzer sticks very well, and also the bronzer will stick out very nicely. That's just what I noticed, okay? Because y'all know I love some bronzer, and so yeah, adding it on powder, it really do like stick on, especially if you're using a contour palette like I am. I feel like when you put the powder on, the concealers is already somewhat oily, so putting it on top of a powder is gonna give it some more time to like really like hang on and stay put. So yeah, like that's it, you guys. Like that is the look. This is the look. However, it's not the look because my hair. But y'all get the idea, okay? I'm dropping everything. You get the idea. Yes, I have sunglasses with my hair pulled back. But you get the idea and you see what I just did. So I'm not going to take off my sunglasses because it will be time to go off hopefully today. But this is the look. This is it. And I will tell you what eyeshadow palette I use. I'm going to come up like I'm already close enough. Let's cut off this light. Let's turn it off because I think sometimes with the light on right there, it could be a bit much. A lot of times I like to stand up so you guys can really take a look at it, because like in front of light sometimes you don't really get to see the bronziness, as much bronze as a person may have used. I just want you to see how much I use and how wonderful it looks like. Okay, I think that's good. Like I'm from a distance from the light a little bit. And this is the bronzer, this is the palette. You can look at the coverage, the concealed palette by Coastal Scents, which is amazing. I love it. This is what it looks like, you guys. So I hope y'all love this as much as I do. I love the palette. We'll talk about that here in a minute, and I'll tell you the eyeshadow palette that I use. I will do an eye makeup look. Probably in the next video. But yeah, you guys. Now, the only thing I'm thinking about right now is this. Okay, I'm gonna turn back on my light. The only thing I'm thinking about is whether or not I should set my face, because I did use the retinol, I guess you could say primer or moisturizer, and this is the same thing except this is a setting spray. Okay, it's hydrating. I do feel like I want that on just because I did put a little powder, and I can tell that a lot of that little soft, glowy look I did take away from the look a little bit. So I'm going to spray this retinol hydrating facial mist on my face. It doesn't take a whole lot, just a little bit, okay, works. And so guys, like basically that is the look. Now let's talk about the concealed palette real quick. Okay, y'all, I like this. This is an inexpensive palette. Like I really do like it. I think it's really good. Once again, I started out with like Coastal Scents products. Like I really did. I started out with those products, and I absolutely love my Coastal Scents palettes at the time. I'm trying to situate my camera, you guys. Like, holy crap! Like, y'all can't even see my tree. That's my tree, y'all. That's my Christmas tree back there. I want y'all to take a look at it. It's pink. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Okay, so y'all see my Christmas tree. But anyways, you guys. Like I said, I started out with Coastal Scents makeup, and I absolutely love Coastal Scents makeup. And I decided, like I said, I was surfing the internet just looking for a few things, and I saw Coastal Scents, and I went, wow, it's been years since I used. I'm talking about probably 10 years since I used, like a while. Like it's been a while since I used Coastal Scents, and I went ahead and picked up this conceal palette because sometimes I feel like just having one palette with all different foundations, and sometimes with concealer palettes you can actually use a concealer as an eyeshadow very lightly on the lids. So this is like a go-to palette in a sense. I always look at palettes like this as a go-to because you have so many different shades. lot of them do have color correctors for brightening the under eyes or concealing whatever. And then you have all these shades to choose from, which would be your foundation shade, your contour shade, your concealers, your highlighters, whatever. You got it right here in one palette. So I do like this palette, but I do think that this palette will get, or the product will be a little oily. However, once again, I did use the retinol product on my skin, okay? And so I don't want to say for sure that this will get real oily, but I do think you will need to set this product with a powder. So this product is so worth the little money that I paid for. It's small, but it's very fast days and quick days when I want to get makeup on and get done. I will grab this. This is my foundation, my concealer, my bronzer, or my contouring, my highlighter, and even eyeshadow. Very lightly though. You can't put a lot on or the stuff will, it will get oily on the lids. But I'm just saying, you can use this many ways, even for spot concealing and also for color correcting. It's everything in this palette. So this is very nice. I'm happy that I have that. And as far as my eyeshadows, you guys, I used two of my new palettes, which I've got to show y'all these palettes because they are so good. Okay, so good. I've used them a few times, not too many times, but I think today was my second time using the palette. I absolutely love these palettes. It's by the brand BYS. This one is very pretty. Look at the design of that. Look how it just, ooh, it's so attractive. It just catches you, like, really. And this one is the Crystal palette, which I did not use today, but I thought I would show y'all the palette. Okay, this is what it looks like. I did not use that today, but I thought I would show y'all because I just absolutely love the packaging of this. But the one that I actually used today is the Prismatic palette. This is what I have, the real shiny shade on my lid. I use this peachy pink shade right here. Now this is like it's not a pressed pigment. It's like a loose, like jelly type of product. But when you put it on your lids, like, you get this really beautiful shimmer, glittery finish. It's so amazing. And all the shades is like that because I used this purple shade in another look that I created at home, and it does the same thing. All of them is real squishy, and you put your fingers in it and just get squishy, but when you look at your finger, you go, wow, that show is shimmery. And then when you put it on your lids, it just stick onto the matte shade or the eyeshadow shade you might have used before. I didn't use glitter glue because it's like jelly. It's like you put it on and it just kind of mattes. Not mattes, but it just kind of, like, what is the word? It just kind of sticks on to the skin. Yeah, so I use this shade right here on my lid. That's the shiny shade that you see. All this glitter, that's what you see. And then as far as the eyeshadow above it, the matte eyeshadow, I use the palette called Hot House. This is one of my favorites, and I used the yellow shade to begin with, and then I went in with the peachy pink shade and the orange shade, and then I used the pink as well. So I used all four of those shades right there into my crease, slightly above my crease, and all of that. So yeah, you guys, so those are the two palettes that I used to create this shiny, beautiful, prismatic, matte eyeshadow look that I absolutely love. So, and y'all will see me create an eye makeup look maybe next time, because this was a face makeup look. But yeah, you guys, that is about it. Oh yeah, the brush. I do recommend this foundation brush because it was very smooth. It applied the foundation on, or the concealer on. It applied the bronzer on really nicely. It did everything it was supposed to have done, which is to apply the concealer products onto the face very evenly and just beautifully, and it did that. So this is very inexpensive by Coastal Scents. It is the brush number BR, which is brush CS22. Okay, that is the number of the brush. So I like this brush, and I like the Conceal Palette by Coastal Scents. So yeah, that's my video. So now, you guys, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. And yeah, you guys, I will see y'all in my next video. And please take care. And much love to everyone. And take care of yourself. Mwah. Bye-bye.
Is this how you